75% of people think real estate agents aren't very trustworthy. The only way to change that perception is to change the reality. If you're looking for a career where integrity matters and you can guide others through tough, high-stakes decisions, come join us at Story Real Estate and help drive that 75% down to zero. I'm Chris, the owner and founder. Let's see if we have a career you'll love.
My name is Joe Rigney, Fellow of Theology at New St. Andrews College. The Bible tells us that there are two fundamental ways to live: the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked, the way of the wise and the way of the fool, God's way and the world's way. And every one of us must choose which way to follow, which way to live. We make this choice every day of our lives. This summer at the Called Conference in Moscow, Idaho, I want to clarify this choice for you. Using the first chapter of the book of Romans, we'll explore the two ways in terms of worship and glory, in terms of manhood, womanhood, sexuality, and in terms of our relationships with other people. The wrath of God is revealed against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. And the pleasure of God is revealed upon all godliness and righteousness of men, who by their righteousness celebrate the truth. The choice of ways is before you. I hope to see you there.
This is going to be Neil's favorite show.
Neil's favorite show?
Yeah. He loves goats.
Okay.
Neil wants to have his own.
Welcome to
Goat
Neil's
herd.
favorite show.
Yeah. Welcome to CrossPolitic. I'm on the Fight Left Feast Network. Pastor Toby Chuck Knox, the Water Boy. I hope you guys enjoyed our show on abortion and Tucker Carlson and all that stuff. Did you guys see that YouTube, not censored, but put a blurb under our show on abortion this week?
Oh, nice.
And basically,
It's helping everybody understand.
because Bill Maher in our show said abortion's murder.
Yeah.
We didn't say it.
So they're clarifying for Bill.
Bill. Under our YouTube
good.
comments
Nice.
and all that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Today's culture shifts like sand, but New St. Andrews College is established on Christ, the immovable rock. The college is a premier institution that forges evangelical leaders who don't fear or hate the world. Guided by God's word, equipped with the genius of classical liberal arts and God-honoring wisdom, with a faculty dedicated to academic rigor and to God's kingdom, New St. Andrews College offers an education that frees people. Logic and language, hard work and joyful courage, old books and godly professors. New St. Andrews College provides time-tested resources that can equip your student for any vocation. To find out more, visit nsa.edu. All right, now, for the second one, I've got to change my uniform.
There
we go. Mount
Athos.
I can't do it. Yeah.
We can do like the country
Athos.
thing.
No. Mount Athos Performance was created to support your quest for excellence in body, mind, and soul. Here on the Holy Mountain, we believe that true strength is not measured in gains. I guess that's a thing. But rather in pursuing anti-fragile longevity, mental resilience, and a rejection of the soul-destroying hedonism of the modern fitness culture. Ooh, amen. From energizing pre-workouts to muscle-building protein, Mount Athos Performance has everything you need to supplement the holistic foundation of authentic strength and vitality you are seeking to build. These supplements also uniquely feature the historic goodness of grass-fed goat whey made in the Pacific Northwest. Visit athosperform.com, athosperform.com/FLF today to discover supplements built on purity, sustainability, and the pursuit of excellence. That's athosperform.com/FLF. We're grateful to have with us today on the show Joe Stout. He's the president of Mount Athos Performance.
And he's a client.
Where they wish to guide you toward physical and cognitive excellence by way of effective and sustainable health solutions. He's also an elder of Christ Covenant Church, which is a CREC congregation in Centralia, Washington. Joe, thanks for joining us on CrossPolitic.
Thank you guys for having me, and thanks for getting through that ad copy without laughing.
Ouch.
Toby did well.
I was actually really relieved afterwards when I heard it was you. I mean, I felt kind of bad, but I heard it was you, and I was like, well, I know Joe, and I can, we're friends, and I can patch this up with him.
He only laughs at you when you're not here.
Because I just, nobody told me about that ad, and I was completely caught off guard, and it just, for some reason, just struck my funny bone that day. So anyways,
honestly, I loved the way you read it. I wish you'd read it that genuinely every time.
Yeah. I'll work on it. So, Joe, the majority of your products are, well made. You care about excellence and so on. But what sticks out is that the main ingredients are connected somehow to goats. Like,
correct.
Why goats?
Yep. That's a great question, and that's why when you were laughing reading the ad copy, I got a kick out of that because I know probably most of your listeners are scratching their heads. What in the world are we eating anything from goats for? And it's a very legitimate question. And the answer lies in the fact that goat milk has actually we've been doing this goat milk thing since the mid 80s, actually. Oh, wow. And goat milk is one of those ingredients that just happens to match up with what we call the human condition very well. If you want to get really technical on a nucleotide level, goat milk matches up to human milk very well, very, very similar. And so what you basically have is you have a food base that is easy to digest, easy to absorb, rarely causes allergies or any type of negative side effects. And so that's why we have an entire product line devoted to different nutritional supplements, performance supplements, based off of this really amazing food.
So because basically when women were having problems with breastfeeding, they'd use goat milk to supplement for their children. Is that where that's coming from?
Yeah, of course. We talk to people all day, every day that have some type of history with milk or with goat milk. And the most common question is, oh, yeah, I needed to drink goat milk as a baby. Or I knew somebody, my little brother had to drink goat milk as a baby because they were allergic to cow milk. Yeah. Well, for kids under 3, cow milk is the number one food allergy by far and away. Mm-hmm. And if you're allergic to cow milk, you're probably allergic to soy milk. There's like a 70% correlation. And so that pretty much eliminates most of your formula options out there. And so some people turn to goat milk because it does not have the allergenic effects that cow milk does or soy milk does.
So I wanted to ask, so compare it to cow milk. You're already kind of doing that a little bit, but sure. In our culture, and I don't know, is this just like a weird Western, modern Western thing that we like you go to the store and you get milk and everybody assumes you're getting cow milk.
Correct.
And unless you say otherwise, that's what everybody assumes. Is that a modern oddity, or why has cow milk become such the sort of dominant staple? Yeah. Is that okay? Do you have any concerns with that?
Yeah, those are all good questions. And yeah, here in America, cow milk is what, when you say milk, you don't think there's any other kind. It's just cow milk. That's all. That's all there is.
There's camel milk too.
What was that?
There's camel milk too.
Well, I was saving that because I was like, we might be weird, but there's other people that are weirder.
Like Gabe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, way to steal my thunder, Gabe. No, but the idea is that in America we're about efficiency. Our farms, we want to run efficient farms, which is a very good thing. Cows are much more efficient than goats, especially if you're trying to feed a lot of people. Now, if you're just feeding your family, anybody who's kept a cow knows that a cow generally produces more milk than one family can drink. And so it's also it has historic roots in the fact that we were founded by a bunch of farmers. Up until about 100 years ago, 95% of the population was involved in farming in some way. Wow. And so that family cow oftentimes was a cash cow. It was the thing that brought in cash. And so it just became very easy to feed your family with the cow and also to sell some of this extra surplus milk to the neighbors. Yeah. And so that's why cows have become so prevalent in our society. Now, worldwide, goats are far more common. because they're just cheaper to buy. They're cheaper to feed. They are far more willing to scrounge on whatever you have to eat.
Tires, whatever.
And they just they're a lot easier to manage. You don't have a 1,000-pound animal. You have a 150-pound animal. So it's a much more common, you would think of it as like an ethnic food. But once again, we're looking more along the human performance side of things. And for human performance, a lot of the benefits you get with goat milk, you also can get with cow milk, because cow milk is a wonderful food as well. It just oftentimes does not, really jive with people's digestive system, or there might be just very allergic to it. There's a protein in cow milk called alpha S1. It's one of those casein proteins. And if you ever hear people talk about the negative effects of casein, that's the specific molecule that they're talking about. Well, goats don't produce that the way cows do. Okay. And so that's where, even though in the broader culture, goat milk is far more common, our focus is really more on, obviously there is the benefits of supplementing with a product that already on a molecular level matches with the human body better.
So I gotta there's a couple questions here. First of all, you made me feel like an idiot. I know it's not intended, but you used the term cash cow and you explained it. I've used that term all my life, and I never connected it to the production of milk and it feeding your family and more. Cash cow. I've always just used the term as a way of like, hey, that's my main source of revenue. That's my cash cow, and I didn't connect it to the milk stuff. That's crazy. I'm 44 years old, and I just never. I don't know. Yeah,
should I apologize, Gabe? I didn't.
No, not at all. I'm always like, that's my tri-tip. Anyways, let's move on. What I'm intrigued about with your farm is that, first of all, it seems to me like the farming industry is dying, especially the family farming industry. So you own a family farm, but what you've done, and you also own a goat farm, so you're even more unique. Right. But you've also figured out how to not only just, I think you still produce cheese and stuff like that out of your farm, but you've figured out how to turn it into supplements. So you figured out multiple ways to create multiple products out of your farm. I'd love to hear kind of that story and how you got there.
Yeah, no, it's a good story, and it's one of the wonderful things about the way the Lord has blessed my family is that I got to grow up on this farm, and now my kids are growing up doing the same thing that I did when I was a kid. And so we had when I was born in 1984, I was born. My dad started doing goats in 1985. Prior to that, he was a city kid. My mom was a city kid, but he always wanted to be a farmer. And so he went and got a job on a dairy with cows, of course, because cows were and have always been the main dairy animal that we do here in America. So he learned all of the ropes about cows. But then in 1984, not 1984, but in the 1980s, we had a very interesting public policy shift within the Department of Agriculture. And what actually happened was the government decided that they wanted to go all in on commercial agriculture in a large scale sense. And so they actually had a phrase that was popularized by the Secretary of Agriculture at the time, and it was "get big or get out." Ooh. So get big or get out. So to scale all of your operations so it's much bigger, and so then your economies of scale improve, or get out. So essentially, that policy pushed most of a good portion of those family farms that were running small cow dairies. It just effectively pushed them out because the government controls the price of milk.
Lord have mercy.
They were able to effectively push farmers out because they control the price of cow milk. It's a fixed commodity that the government sets prices on.
Wow.
And so my dad got that message, and so he decided to take the latter, but he wanted to continue to farm. And so this was before the organic movement, before there was really money to be made labeling yourself as organic. And so he decided to diversify into the goat world, much, much smaller market. So you don't have the general acceptability of the market, but the customers that you can find oftentimes recognize the value better, and so they're willing to pay the added premium that it costs to actually do what we do.
Interesting.
And so that was how he made his way into it, and from the get-go was doing cheese. That was the main thing. Well, if you or if any of your listeners or your wives have ever made cheese, you know that you have this leftover product called whey. And at the time, cheese companies were just like dumping the whey. They weren't doing anything with the whey. Whey protein wasn't really a thing yet. It was you either fed your whey to pigs, or you spread it on fields, or you dumped it. Well, if you dump it in the streams, it'll kill all the fish. Not because it's toxic in general, but because it pulls all the oxygen out of the water and the fish die. So you can't dump it in the stream. You can dump it on your fields, and that's okay, but that's really kind of a waste. And so we actually had inherited from the previous father-son team that was running the company a process where we took that whey. So we made the cheese. The cheese was the main source of income, and then we took that leftover whey, and instead of dumping it out or feeding it to pigs, we actually, because it's a nutritionally amazing ingredient. It's not waste material, but it's not cheese. And if people just want to sell cheese, what do I do with the leftovers? Well, I don't have a way of closing that loop yet. But we did. We had a way of closing the loop, and it was with a product that we called at the time WHEX, WHEX, and it was for whey extract. And we had this patented process, or it was not a patented process, but it was a special process where we would actually concentrate that down, pull all of the water out of it, or most of the water out of it, and it would be a mineral supplement. And we actually still make that product today. It's actually in a lot of the Mount Athos products that we produce. But that particular process of utilizing both the whey and the cheese was something that we did right from the very beginning, and that was really how we were able to make it work. That plus being able to connect directly with our customers has been a huge blessing. Most dairy farmers, and virtually no dairy farmers today, ever get to connect with their customers. Right. They have to just sell to a processor, then the processor gives them whatever the milk price check is, and you just hope it covers your feed and your labor.
With where the state of farms are at in the U.S. and some of the government silliness that you've already mentioned, would you recommend like guys getting into this business, families getting into this business?
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely would recommend people get into it if their situation allows for it. If you want to get into animals, my recommendation is definitely not goats, unless you want to take all the money you were going to spend on goats and put that all into fences, and then Neil, save up for the goats. But I would. One of the problems, but this is the world we live in. One of the problems with getting into the dairy market is that it's very capital intensive. So, and this has historically been the problem with farming, is that farmers are land rich and cash poor. They've got lots of land. They don't necessarily have a lot of money though. Their net worth might be high, but your net worth doesn't pay to keep your lights on.
Yeah.
And so it can be very difficult to get in because of the capital expenditure to get into dairy. Plus, dairy is much different than, say, raising beef cattle. Beef cattle require far less interaction. Or even if you wanted to do goats, you could do meat goats. There's a good market for meat goats too. Even that is, you're probably interacting with them once a day, as opposed to the intensive milking process that has to happen every day, usually twice a day, and it ends up being dairy ends up being a very big time suck if you don't have a system to spread out the load.
You know that?
Well, actually, I was going to ask him a question from the ad that I read.
Okay,
can I do that?
Sure.
Okay,
let's talk about it.
So in the ad that I read, it said, so rather than thinking about gains. You want to pursue anti-fragile longevity, mental resilience, and a rejection of the soul-destroying hedonism of the modern fitness culture. And that particularly that last line, the soul-destroying hedonism of the modern fitness culture. And I assume maybe we could add to this sort of the modern idolatry of health and idolatry of finding the, perfect supplements and all the rest of that. But so how is your business, how is your company fighting that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great question. Essentially out there in the nutrition world, sex sells, and that's what everybody is that's what they're selling. They want you to imagine yourself better in a very specific and hedonistic way. Some people have likened health clubs, the gym, going to the fitness club, whatever, as basically the nightclub, but during the day. People go there. Not only, gains is just the thing that most young men are searching for. They're wanting to look ripped in the mirror, and to a certain extent, God made the human body. We're not Gnostics here at Mount Athos. We don't think that the physical is bad.
Right.
We just think it's very easy to idolize yourself or the human body, and that will destroy your soul. And you might have a very fit body, but if your soul is broken, it doesn't matter at all. And so what we want our customers to do is to know that there are companies out there that are not that they are not promoting or selling or encouraging vice, but actually that we are here and we want to see you reject vice. And, honestly, laziness is a vice. And so for some of us, that might mean that we need to reject our desire to not go to the gym or to not work out, or to not become physically fit. But the soul destroying nature of the hedonistic lifestyle that is the fitness industry is just this meat grinder of like let's just ignore the fact that we're all going to get old, we're all going to get weak, and we're all going to die. So let's eat, drink, and be merry, for that can happen tomorrow. And we want to firmly reject that. And we would love to connect with other customers who are looking that have good health goals, that have good fitness, a good fitness mindset, and want to have the resiliency of good health, but aren't necessarily looking to just cruise the gym looking for a one-night stand or just looking for that next Tinder hookup. So
that's really good. You guys are aware that we have a new app, right? If not, you should download it right now. Head on over to your favorite app store, type in CrossPolitic or Fight Laugh Feast or Pub TV. Once you find the app, you may need to update your old app, especially if you have a Droid phone, apparently. You may need to delete your current FLF app and re-download it. But once you download it, you'll be able to view or listen to our content right on your mobile device. Never miss a show. You also, of course, get access if you are a member. You're a member. A pub member, a Fight Laugh Feast pub member. You get access to all of our backstage content, all our old conferences, a bunch of other content we've been working on.
University things coming up now.
Yep. And of course, if you're a pub member, you get a discount at our conferences. In this year's conference, the theme is Prodigal America in Fort Worth, Texas. And we convinced Gabe to actually extend the early bird registration.
We're to the second early bird.
We're at the second early bird.
Will there be a third?
Will there be a third? Second early bird?
We'll see. If they're naughty and they don't sign up like they should, and then I have to figure it out.
It's like second breakfast?
Yeah. Right.
Through
July 1st.
Price right now is?
150 for club members, and I think 200 for non-club members.
Okay.
This is the most affordable price we've ever had at a conference.
So we've never had cheaper prices for our conference, and we slashed them because we just want people to be there. We want to fill up all the seats.
The content's been so good, and we've been in small cities, and so it's hard to get to. And our last conference was at the Ark Encounter, and you had to pay for us, and you had to pay for the Ark Encounter, but we still had 1,500 people out there.
And there's like family deals.
Was so good.
There's family deals for if it's like you pay for a couple kids, and then
the rest are free.
Everybody else gets thrown in. So check it out, fightlaughfeast.com. Download the app today.
All right, so Joe. Yes. Moment of truth here. You sent us some goods. I kind of wanted to talk to you about regulation, but since we don't have enough time, we're going to talk about the goods. So you sent us some goods. Hold on. Hold on.
Dunamide.
I got stuff. Now, I want to know.
Pre-workout.
That stuff here. Hold on.
It's for you, Toby. For you, it's pre-sermon.
All right.
Pre-sermon.
This is sermon prep.
Now,
sermon prep.
The sermon prep.
That's post-sermon.
Protein.
So, Joe, can you lay out for me what you sent us in this package? Because I guess you get us a care package that you feel like, because you love us, you feel like we needed this. Could you go through kind of what's here?
Why did you send me creatine?
And then can you...
What are you trying to say, Joe?
Is this and is this kind of just what we need to be taking every day? And what are these things good for? I got questions about the mind and the rest stuff.
Sigma?
Yeah, we'll talk about. So which one do you want to go talk about first, Joe?
Yep. All right. Let's start with kind of the base of it all, which is the Atlas protein.
Okay.
That's going to be some of the ones. You got it. Atlas protein right there. This product right here is it's a blend of the whey and the casein that comes from goat milk. And so you have whey is considered a fast protein, means that it digests fast and immediately goes to rebuilding muscle. Casein is a slow digesting protein. That means that it's, of course, slower to digest, but then it also protects your muscles from breakdown. So that's an excellent one. Tastes great. I take that one every single day. I mix that with one of those with like a little Nutra mix, not the Vitamix, but an actual like single serve mix with some ice and a little bit of peanut butter. It's very good.
Really.
And protein is just one of those things.
Toby likes peanut butter.
Very well known. You need more protein.
I love
almost
protein.
always.
Oh, really? So just take it every day. Even if you're not working out that day, just take it.
Absolutely. That's one you just want to take every day.
I use
that's actually a great one for you to skip a meal with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I use it to skip a meal sometimes for lunch when I'm just too busy and I can't do lunch. I'll just
hold on. Wait. I gotta ask, because if I'm on the carnivore diet, am I doing good on sugars and carbohydrates? We'll have to talk about one for carnivores. I see right now.
Wait, are you carnivore or are you keto? Because those carnivore, you're probably not
Joe,
taking that because it's not meat. Huh?
Joe, the fact that you don't think I know the difference between carnivore and keto, that's insulting, Joe. That's insulting.
I think I still need to send you some goat meat, don't I?
Yes.
Can we barbecue that?
So what's up next? So I got the protein here. We'll talk about
what else?
What do you want to go for next?
Okay, well, let's just take let's take the Prime Recovery and the Dunamide.
Okay,
those are going to be your So Dunamide is a pre-workout,
right there.
And the reason why we call that a pre-workout is because you take it, before your workout. But the reason why you want to wait until you take your workout is because it has some ingredients in there that will get you fired up. All right, now when Toby said that this was his pre-sermon workout, this would make for a barn burner sermon, Toby, if you take that.
Wow.
Now tell the truth, Joe. Is this what Aaron is taking now?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. We just got to get that guy riled up, right?
Because, he wasn't very excited
I don't have any Dunamide. I just got Prime Recovery.
We decided you didn't need you didn't need any of that.
I wonder if me and you mixed our Dunamide and Prime. I'll have to check to see if we
You're already fired up.
Well, it's the carnivore.
Okay, all right, what's next?
Okay, so you take that one about 45 to 30 minutes before your workout.
Okay.
And one of the things, it's got something in it called beta-alanine, and that beta-alanine is actually expands the capillaries in all over your body, but you notice it in some tingling sensations up in your, a lot of times in your ears or your nose, but that just means it's working. And so you take that one before your workout. As you start pumping weight, as you start lifting weights, pumping iron, that tingling sensation will go away because the ingredients in there, the creatine, the caffeine, the L-citrulline, and the beta-alanine, those things are going to do the things to make your muscles in your body ready for the work that you're doing for it.
Wow.
Okay, I want to talk about the creatine in just a second, or is that what you want to talk about next?
We can talk about that, or we generally the prime recovery and the Dunamide go together because prime recovery is something that you should take every day, whether you work out or not. And essentially, what prime recovery is essential amino acids. It's an essential amino acid blend. It also has our goat milk minerals in it as well. But the key blends are there's a whole list of different amino acids that are in that, and that really helps with getting your body recovered from whatever workout you've put it through, even if that workout was a day or two ago. Okay, so the next set is stuff that's this is the stuff that really hits me. You got Sigma Mind and Elysium Rest. Now, these are big. I mean, Alpha Brain, it's huge right now. Everybody's talking about that. Joe Rogan pushes it. Where do these rank in rest and focus in the market right now? Yep. So the Sigma Mind is going to be very, very similar to like an Alpha Brain. Okay. It's going to have some of the same naturopathic substances in there. One of the nice things about it is that with a product like Sigma Mind, you're going to be getting a lot of those things. People think of like, I need my morning coffee to wake up and get started on the day. Me too. I do it as well. But caffeine is actually a stimulant. And so it pushes you beyond where you normally would be, but it doesn't necessarily support overall cognitive function. Stimulants are different than something called nootropics or nootropics. And so you have things like Sensoril, you have things like L-tyrosine, L-theanine is another one. These are all nootropics that help your brain function, but without some of the stimulant side effects. So when I take this, I notice no stimulant effect, but focus improves, mood oftentimes improves, and that's over the course of a long, kind of continual use. So that's going to be one of the main reasons why you would take this. You could call this your AM supplement. You start your day out with this, and then the Elysium Rest is what you're actually ending your day with. And this is going to have different natural supplements in it. With the big one that you probably are familiar with is melatonin. Oh yeah, but not just melatonin, valerian root, chamomile, things to help your mind calm down, ready to go into that, the sleep that the Lord provides to his beloved. So you didn't just white label me, right? Like this, where are you ranking in the market of, like you said, I'm going to let you rank yourself. Here you go. Yeah. Everything you gave me here, where do you think the quality of where this is in the market right now? Yeah. I would say Mount Athos is a premium brand, and you can tell we're premium by our prices because we're expensive. But that's not that those the expense is actually not just, there's not just like tons of margin in there that we're just like, hey, let's see how much we can get people to pay for stuff. Right. These products just cost a lot to produce. And so I would say that the Sigma Mind is going to be right up there with your Alpha Brain. It's going to be the Elysium Rest is actually one of the most effective kind of end of day supplements that I've ever taken. Our serving size is 4 capsules. I take 1 capsule. That's it. Wow. Wow. I mean, if you needed to take more, you could, but I take 1 capsule, and I don't even take that all the time because it is so effective. So I would say we're up in the top tier. I'm sure there's a variety of different pros and cons of different supplements out there, but we're certainly aware of Alpha Brain, and have taken inspiration from many of the different. The field of nootropics is very, very interesting. It's a fascinating field, and it's still a very new field. So there's a lot of work going on in the nootropic world.
I got one more question, but first,
can you get your fingers out my bottle?
I'm gonna take the cotton out, so you don't have to.
Out.
You don't have to go to that trauma. Okay,
I'm gonna need a new one, Joe.
I got it.
He's contaminated it.
With kind of me and my wife have a show that we've been doing called Water Break, and we actually talked about supplements a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that I said on the show is that the supplement industry, it's like a $30 billion industry or something. I forget the actual number, but it's very significant, and that included also like weight loss drugs and all that stuff, or weight loss supplements. But the supplement industry, to me, his I don't trust it very well.
Right.
And I don't trust it partly because it's hard to verify. It's hard to objectively prove. It's hard to there's so much fad around it. And so, I was talking to my wife, and I said one of the, I think, principles that we need to be thinking about as we, take supplements and use them and everything is kind of like the 2 or 3 witnesses justice principle in scriptures, where you want to verify. And so you want to, you don't want just to boil everything down to, oh, this made me feel better.
Right.
We want to.
The placebo effect is real,
especially in fad world, right? I remember in November, my wife made me get a blood test, and then we found out that one of the things we found out in my blood test, that my vitamin D was low, and so we started taking vitamin D. And then the next blood test I did, which was back in March, my vitamin D was drastically improved, and so that to me is like, okay, I objectively
measured something,
improved it. What's your, and so the supplement industry, it's like, it's almost like essential oils in some sense. They got an oil for everything and everything. So how do you maybe respond to that?
I don't like how you said that.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
While you're doing it, I'm going to take some of your Sigma, okay? I'll give
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little bit of a low blow to compare us to essential oils.
Well, I don't like the way you talk about essential oils. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Did you call them ascension oils?
Essential. Well, if they will help you ascend. They will help you ascend.
Oh man.
No, I definitely hear what you're saying on that, Gabe, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the supplement world, it's actually far more regulated than it used to be. And I would actually say that if you look at the label of a bottle, if it says nutrition facts, if it has a nutrition facts panel, it's a food. And if it says supplement facts, then it's a dietary supplement. Okay. It'll say on the front too, dietary supplement. Well, dietary supplements are basically regulated at the same level as pharmaceuticals. So regardless of what you think of the FDA, the pharmaceutical world and the dietary supplement world are largely connected, and they largely follow the same. They largely follow the same standards. And not all of those standards are bad. The FDA is not completely. Not everything they do is devoid of reason or thought. So we follow FDA protocol. We are what's called a GMP facility, which stands for Good Manufacturing Practices. And so I totally understand what you're saying, because a lot of the supplement market is fads and charlatans. Yeah. Fads and charlatans trying to sell you a quick fix to maybe a long-term problem. And so one of the things I always look at is, how long has a company been around? And so in our present form, the way Mount Athos and our parent company, Mount Capra, have been around, we've been around since 1985 in our current form. And before that, we were doing what we're doing all the way back in 1928. Wow. So we've been around almost 100 years. Whereas if you look at a lot of the nutritional supplements that are being sold today, the dietary supplements that are being sold today, 5 years from now, they won't exist because they will have been merged into the giant behemoth brands that come along and acquire and absorb the different markets that these different supplement people are creating. So there is definitely that race to riches that a lot of supplement companies go through, where they actually start the company with the end game being, we want to be acquired by Nestle, or we want to be acquired by Clorox or Procter and Gamble, or whoever is buying up all of these different brands. And so we've been at this a long time. We've seen a lot of brands come in, a lot of brands be acquired, and then completely either be absorbed and disappear, or just go down an entirely different trail, all the way. So you're not wrong to distrust the nutrition supplement industry, but it's a little bit like if you have a good mechanic, you can trust him. But finding that good mechanic can be difficult, because there's a lot of people that will take advantage of you.
I just went to athosperform.com/FLF just to see what it would do. Yeah. And there's a 25% off your first order with code FLF25. So FLF25 will get 25% off your first order. So
I just took the Sigma, And I think it's starting to
Are
work.
you tingling?
How many did you
This is not
take?
the tingling stuff.
How many
This is
did you
not the tingling stuff. I just took 2. It said 3, but
Okay.
this was yours.
So
and I
you
was
so
like,
you owe me 4.
oh, you 4. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Restitution.
That's restitution.
All right, it's coming.
Joe. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for joining us on CrossPolitic. Appreciate what you're doing, and I can't wait to try these out, and I'm going to be my own guinea pig.
Well, thank you guys for having me on, and just Lord bless the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Joe.
you,
If
man.
you're single, get married. If you're married, have kids. If you have kids, go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is CrossPolitic.